So today I'm gonna take a trip down to Times Square, and we're gonna check out, we'll see how many people are out there. So the president declared national emergency yesterday. New York State declared a state of emergency a couple days ago. So we'll go out and see how many people are out. So if you look, I mean, normally it's 12:30 right now, so normally you'd see way more people on the train station than this. I mean, there are people out, but it is very, very empty. Not a lot of people. So people, you know, the crowds have definitely thinned out. What'll be interesting to see what it looks like when we get to Times Square. So we got off at 42nd Street in Bryant Park. I wanted to walk through this service tunnel. So this service tunnel usually is so crowded that you can't even walk down the center. Generally, you have to stay to the right. So as you can see, there are no people in the subway system right now. Normally you would not even be able to walk on this side going in this direction. So this service tunnel, what it does is it takes you from 6th Avenue down to 5th Avenue underneath 42nd Street, and also allows you to transfer for the 7 train. So we're actually gonna go down to the 7 train platforms just to see what it looks like.
Hello, everyone. Keep yourself and your neighbors healthy by washing your hands often. Use soap and water and wash for at least 20 seconds. Or
All right, so we're on 42nd and 5th. We're just right outside the Manhattan Public Library. Times Square is a couple of blocks that way, so we'll go there later. I just want to go through the park and see what it looks like. All these chairs are usually filled up. As you can see, it's empty. There's nobody here. Just to give you an idea, it's Saturday. The time is 1 o'clock. So, you know, this is usually crowded on a Saturday at 1 o'clock. This is a tourist trap. And there's nobody here. I know there have been times when I want to have lunch and I can't even get a seat. And now you got to pick of anywhere you want to sit. So I know that they closed the library. I think that's what that notice says on the door there. So we'll go check it out. Yep, it says New York Public Library is closed until further notice. There are definitely people out, but again, it's, you know, you can tell there's a lot less people out than normal. It'll be interesting when we get to Times Square. So now we're gonna go into Bryant Park, which is usually another area that's very crowded on a weekend. And then on our way to Times Square, there's a Whole Foods. So I want to see, like, I'm not going to go inside, but we'll see if there's like lines outside.
저는 쭉 가다가 안 온 것 같아요.
Streets are noticeably empty. You can see there's nobody here dining around. Wow, there is nobody here. That's crazy. Look at this. Probably by maybe about 10-15 people are here. There is nobody here. It's just crazy. They're pulling up the ice rink. There's an ice rink here during the winter. So they're getting ready to put the turf back down for the summer. Usually there would be a line here waiting to get on this carousel. I mean, the line would go for about 20 deep. And as you can see, there's nobody on the carousel. Not one person in line to get on this carousel. Like I said before, they took down the ice rink, so they're getting ready for laying down the turf for the summer. So this would be a project that will be going on for a while. A little bit more people over here.
I assume there would be less people out and about.
So here's a Whole Foods. Doesn't look like there's any crazy lines. But that might be because there's nothing left in there. So we're on 6th Avenue and 42nd. This is the Bank of America Tower. I actually worked in this building. This is one of the many buildings I've worked in the last 20 years. There's not even traffic. Look at this. I'm walking right across the street against the light. I look like a tourist right now. Everyone's looking at me. All right, so we're gonna head into Times Square and see what it looks like. There goes the Times Square ball up there, if you could see it. I'm actually gonna jaywalk right across 42nd Street. How's this? Look at this. Normally I could never do this. It is empty for the most part. I would call this empty, just because there's no foot traffic really. I mean, there are people walking around, obviously, but again, this is normally a spot where it's very hard to navigate with all the tourists and all the crowds of people. Sometimes you get stopped and you have to, just walk behind people slowly. But today, again, the whole thing with the seats, you could get a seat, which is very hard to do on a normal day. You got these street performers, but there's really nobody to perform in front of. again, look at all of these empty tables and chairs. And all these food vendors normally have lines of people. Now, if you want to get something to eat now, man, it's pretty easy. You don't have to wait for food now. And by the way, in case you're wondering, it's like almost 60 degrees out, so it's the weather's gorgeous. So there's no reason for people to be inside other than, you know, the obvious reason of the coronavirus. As you can see, people are still out. You know, you got a lot of people that are just going about their daily lives. Not everybody is, you know, quarantining themselves inside or isolating themselves. You're still gonna have people come out.
I made a new sign today. It's nice, right?
The naked cowboy's out. He never hides. So this is how you know that something's going on. When these stairs are empty, we got a whole bunch of people that just took a group picture, so that's what you're seeing now, these people coming down. But I mean, usually you can't even walk up these stairs because everyone's sitting down on them. And I'm gonna be able to just walk right up, no problems.
like on the down.
Oh, you want to take it down? See right there. I think I'm not far away.
So like I said, normally you can't even like walk up these stairs, especially on a Saturday. There's just nobody here. I mean, obviously there's people here, but I guess what I'm trying to say is this is normally a crowded area. An area where it's hard to walk, where you're trying not to trip over people, where you're trying to say, you know, excuse me 100 times just to get to where you're going. And apparently, as you can see, there's just nobody on these steps. And again, it's a nice day out. This is not, you know, a question of the weather being bad or not. It's like 60 degrees outside right now. So. I just gotta put my camera back on my mount. Traffic's pretty light. Foot traffic is very light. So I guess the next place I'm going to go down to is Rockefeller Center. So that'll be my next video, right after this one. I'll probably walk down there. We'll just do a walk-in video straight down. But again, you can see like nobody sitting around. And nobody online to get food. Again, this is a place where, you know, you're talking about 20 people deep in line. People not being able to sit and eat. People standing up and eating. This area right here normally is a lot of foot traffic and a lot of bike traffic going back and forth. So, again, it definitely is empty. People are staying inside. It'll be interesting to see what happens in the next few days. I mean, the thing to keep in mind is this just started. They just declared like a state of emergency here on Wednesday, I believe, and then the mayor declared a state of emergency in the city on Thursday, and then the president yesterday. You know, the way they're talking about is, you know, the numbers are, you know, they're going to go up pretty high in the coming days as they start testing more people. And they start to get more numbers coming in from the hospitals. So that'll be the question. I know, like, so with my job, they've pretty much asked us to work from home, but now it's starting to turn into they want you to work from home. You know, at first it was voluntary, now it's becoming mandatory. So, you know, a lot of people, you know, are starting to work from home. This is the M&M store. So it'll be interesting to see what happens, you know, in the beginning of the work week. Because this is going to be the first full week coming up where they, you know, put all these safety measures in place. You know, this all started pretty much on Thursday. So, and this is Saturday. So, you know, in all fairness, it is a weekend. But I'll be honest with you, it's usually crowded even on a Saturday. If anything, it's more crowded on a Saturday because you have all the tourists and you have all the people that are off for the day. They all come into the city at the same time. This is an area that I usually stay away from on a weekend. I never come down here on a weekend. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens on Monday and on Tuesday. You know, when, I mean, we don't know what's going to happen. If it gets worse, you know, if they start like locking down the city and telling people to stay home and not even come into the city for work, they start reducing the subway service. All right, so I'm gonna head down to not to Times Square. We're already in Times Square. I'm gonna head down to Rockefeller Center, and that'll be in the next video, and we'll see what Rockefeller Center looks like. But I'm imagining it's gonna look more of the same.